What's up, you guys? It's your boy Orlando back again with another quick video. This video is going to be about placing God in a box, the God box, right? So one of the things that I've struggled with, and the reason why I titled this channel The Reload is because, or the official reload is because, you know, throughout my life I've always had this concept that people need to be able to understand me as it relates to my conversation and my dialogue about God, or people need to be able to relate to me 110% on, you know, my relationship with God. And in reality, it's just not going to be like that. And so, you know, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out a way to allow my conversation to be healthy with you and for you about how we as a people have really placed God in a box, the God box. And you know, I really want us to begin to have a healthier dialogue, you know, as a species of people, about the way we perceive our spirituality and the way we perceive God. Now, to me, I cannot put God in a box, and the reason why is because, just a little bit of backstory. So I grew up in a small town, and, you know, I was raised Church of God in Christ, Kojic Christian, and, you know, that's my background. That's where I come from. So, you know, every aspect of my spirituality has been based on, you know, the construct of my upbringing, and that's how I've always viewed God, through that tunnel, through that one perspective about how I want to worship God, how I want to envision God, what does God look like for me, and it always came from that perspective. But it was because of the love that I had for God that drove me into a kind of a unquenchable thirst, you know, where I was searching for God so hard. You know, I kept going, and I wanted to know more and more and more and more, that it began to lead me into this broader understanding. And it took some time, you know, and it took meeting people and, you know, getting into fights and, you know, studying all these different theological standpoints and the hermeneutics and the exegesis and all of this contextual, you know, breakdowns of the Bible, in order to really come to the realization is that, man, there is no possible way that we can really expound on how big the understanding of a creator is, or the all within the all, or the all, or the mental aspect of who and what God is. I mean, there is no way. So I understand why they created this Bible, right, in order to box off the confusion and to kind of control the consciousness of the masses, because in reality, nature tells you everything that you need to know about yourself and about the reality that you exist in. You know, and naturally, as a human, we're always looking for something that is beyond our consciousness to explain the unexplainable. Scientists do this every single day when they try to come out and create forms or theses and experiments to explain certain things that they can't explain naturally, right? So they come up with formulas to try to explain things that are unexplainable to them. So in a sense, they rely on science in order to break this down, and when they can't, they just, you know, excuses that as a theory or whatever. You know, this is just the basic fundamental principles of the human consciousness. We're always looking for something to govern the mind, or to govern the consciousness. So we either rely on the Bible for this, we rely on scientists for this, we rely on other people in order to explain what we're feeling, because we can't explain it ourselves. You know, so I was kind of always the person that kind of just really wanted to, you know, ask questions, and then the questions and the answers that I get to the questions. And that's just how I am. And I think in doing that, you never come to this resolution of peace, right? So I've always kind of been in this space where, like, I'm always searching, you know, for this certain answer, and it's unquenchable because it's so big and there's so much information, there's so much knowledge that's out there. But I think the understanding of where I am now is, what will people say about you when you pass on? How many people will you have impacted? But not for the glory of the nations and the worlds to see, but for the glory of, you know, you made an impact, and however that impact, whatever that looks like, that's what you have to roll with, you know, as a person. You know, whether you impacted thousands or whether you impacted 1%, you know, or one person, and that one person impacted another person, and that person impacted 1,000, and that 1,000 impacted 1,000,000. But it came from that one impact that you had on one person that impacted so many. So you have to begin to kind of expand your consciousness, or expand the God box. One of the reasons why I'm saying that you have to expand this box is because when you look at the Bible, it's just like I hope I'm saying this right, but it's compartmentalized, right? It's in like compartments, compartmentalized, I guess you say, but it's broken down in compartments, right? So when you read it, maybe the first few times you'll get one compartment of it, and then you open it up again, and then you realize that compartment leads to another door. So you go through that door, right? And then once you go through that door, you open up another compartment, and you realize that compartment led to another secret passage, and that secret passage. So like when you read the Bible, that's what happens, because that's why you can read it in one part of your life and then read it again 20 years later, and you're beginning to see so many different, perspectives, and I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying that it's all perspective, because see, what happens is a lot of people, what they do is they leave the religion, they expand their consciousness, they expand their thoughts about God and about the word, and then they go and they're trying to like now save people from having the desire to want to be saved. And so in essence what they're doing is they're creating another religion. So that's what I mean by it has compartments to it. It still has its hold on you. Otherwise you would be able to move on from it and continue to exist and expand upon where you are in mental state, and you have no reason to continue to go back to address matters unless there's other reasons behind that. Now, I don't want to argue with you about the Bible anymore. I've done that in the first half of my life. I have no energy for that, because I realize now everything is energy and everything is mental, right? And I'm not going to get into this video on whether or not what is God, who God is, where God is. I just wanted to kind of begin this dialogue, because this will be the first conversation about what we call the God box, right? So the God box will be something that I want to deal with, that I want to talk about. And then as we expand into the God box, you will see that every video I will open another compartment within the God box, where you will begin to see that there are so many different aspects to this thing that is almost like, how do you break all this down, right? How do you come to the point to where you're finding peace in that? And so that's where the compartments live. So when you find peace in one aspect of God, you're in a compartment and you're comfortable in that space. Eventually you're supposed to outgrow the space, so you're supposed to understand the areas within that compartment, but then move into new compartments, and each compartment opens up the box. So you knock down one wall, now you have more space to deal with. And so when you think of space as the mind, the spaces of the mind, the mansions of the mind, right? And so like as you're going through these compartments and you're knocking down all these different walls, you're expanding the mind, you're expanding God, you're allowing God to expand you as well. You're allowing the Creator to expand you. For anyone that's going to rebut this and they're going to say, well, this guy is talking about God, he's dealing with this. Listen, nothing, and I'm not saying that the religious God is the right way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I work in software. A code, right? A DNA strand has a code. Anything that's living on the planet, whether it be digitally or electronically or physically or consciously, anything has a code, has a coded strong construct. No code can have an intelligent form to it without a programmer. You have to have a programmer. Now, who and what that programmer is, we have no idea. Trying to disprove God is just like trying to disprove, everything else. Everything that has a coded construct. Why is there a code to everything? Why does your DNA have certain strands to it and certain DNA constructs and makeup? Why is the mind one of the things that humanity can never understand? We just, because we're in compartments. We compartmentalize, I hope I'm saying that right, all these different aspects, because we're afraid that it's going to challenge our theology and where we are about God and how we perceive God. So we begin to cap based on the compartment that we're in. We don't expand on the compartment. We just move to another compartment. We don't want to knock down the walls of the other one and bridge and let that expand. But anyway, this has been your boy O, you guys. I just wanted to kind of open up that dialogue and let you know that this will be the space that I'm going to be in for a while. And, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, share this video. Thank you guys so much. Salute to you, and I'm out.